In the beginning God spoke, and with his words he crafted a world of unparalleled beauty. Light filled the skies, chasing away the darkness, and laughter echoed through the valleys, a symphony of pure joy. He sculpted oceans that stretched to the horizon, their waves whispering secrets to the shore, and raised mountains that pierced the clouds, their peaks adorned with snow. The land teemed with animals of every kind, each creature a testament to his boundless creativity. And finally, he created people, Adam and Eve, breathing life into them and placing them in the heart of his creation. He gave them a perfect home, Eden, a garden of unparalleled beauty and abundance, where everything was just right, a true paradise. There was only one rule, a single boundary set amidst the boundless freedom: don't eat from the tree of knowing good and evil, for in doing so, they would invite consequences they could not foresee. For a while, life was perfect, a harmonious existence in a world untouched by sorrow or pain. Adam and Eve walked with God hand in hand, their hearts full of joy and their spirits intertwined with the divine. But a clever snake, a master of deception, slithered into the garden and lied to Eve, planting seeds of doubt and temptation in her mind. It twisted the truth, saying the forbidden fruit would make them like God, powerful and wise, capable of discerning good and evil for themselves. Eve, captivated by the serpent's words, ate the fruit, defying God's command. Then Adam, faced with a choice, made the fateful decision to join her, sharing in her transgression. Instantly everything changed, the world tilting on its axis as innocence was lost and darkness crept in. Sadness, shame, and fear entered their hearts, replacing the joy and peace they had once known. The perfect world was broken, its harmony shattered by their disobedience. Pain and hardship came, a consequence of their actions, casting a shadow over their future. And Adam and Eve had to leave Eden, banished from the paradise they had known, forced to face a world now tainted by sin. Yet God still loved them, his compassion unwavering even in the face of their betrayal. He promised that one day someone special would come, a savior who would redeem humanity. This special someone would come to defeat the snake and fix everything, restoring the broken world to its former glory. This promise was a whisper of hope, a beacon in the encroaching darkness. A rescuer would come, a hero destined to set things right. Even in the darkness, God's love remained, a constant source of comfort and strength. The world waited, holding its breath in anticipation, for the hero who would make things right, for the one who would break the chains of sin and death. God's plan was set in motion, an intricate tapestry woven with love, sacrifice, and redemption. Even as Adam and Eve left the garden, their hearts heavy with regret, the seeds of hope had already been sown. The story of rescue had begun, a saga of love and sacrifice that would unfold across generations. The world was broken, but not forgotten, its beauty marred, but its potential for restoration still alive. God's promise would echo through generations, carried on the wind, whispered in prayers, and etched in the hearts of those who longed for redemption. The hope of restoration was alive, a flickering flame that refused to be extinguished, a testament to the enduring power of God's love. God's magnificent rescue plan, a tapestry woven through time, grew through the actions and faith of ordinary people. It was a plan unfolding, a secret whispered through generations. People who trusted him implicitly, like Noah, a beacon of righteousness in a world consumed by wickedness. He built an ark, a vessel of hope, and was saved from the devastating flood that cleansed the earth. Abraham, a man of unwavering faith, left everything he knew, trusting in God's profound promise to bless all the nations of the world through his descendants, through his family. Moses, a reluctant leader, led God's chosen people out of the bitter chains of slavery in Egypt, through awe-inspiring miracles, including the parting of the Red Sea, a testament to God's power. David, just a humble shepherd boy, bravely defeated the giant Goliath, an act of courage that propelled him to become a mighty king. God made a sacred promise that his family, his lineage, would bring forth a king whose reign would last forever. Throughout the ages, prophets spoke with conviction of a coming rescuer, a wonderful counselor, full of wisdom and understanding, a prince of peace, bringing harmony and reconciliation. Every story, every prophecy, every act of faith pointed towards the momentous day when God's promise would finally arrive. The world, weary and longing, waited with bated breath for the arrival of the king, the one who would ultimately save everyone from darkness. The prophecies foretold of a king, a savior who would bring hope to the world. At last, God's promised king arrived. Not in a palace but in a humble stable, Jesus was born. A simple beginning for a monumental life. Angels, celestial messengers of joy, announced his birth to humble shepherds, their voices echoing through the night. Guided by a radiant star, wise men journeyed from afar, following its light to find him, bearing gifts of reverence. As Jesus grew up, he walked among the people, showing God's boundless love everywhere he went, touching hearts and changing lives. With compassion in his touch, he healed the sick, restoring them to wholeness. He calmed storms, demonstrating power over nature itself, bringing peace to troubled waters. And with open arms, welcomed outcasts, offering them dignity and belonging. Jesus taught that God's kingdom was a place for everyone, regardless of background or status, and that love, unconditional and unwavering, was the greatest command of all. He was the rescuer, the shepherd, the very one the prophets had promised centuries before. But some leaders, blinded by pride and fear, rejected him, afraid of losing their power and influence. In a moment of betrayal, they arrested Jesus, unjustly punished him, and forced him to carry a heavy cross, a symbol of suffering. Though completely innocent, Jesus willingly suffered for the sake of the people he came to save, a sacrifice of ultimate love. The rescuer was hurt, betrayed by those he loved, a wound that pierced deeper than any physical pain. The world watched in sorrow and disbelief as hope seemed to fade, darkness descending upon the land. But even in the darkest hour, the story wasn't over. A new chapter was about to begin. God's plan, far greater than anyone could imagine, was still unfolding, promising a future filled with hope and redemption. Jesus died on the cross and hope seemed lost. But on the third day he rose from the dead, alive, victorious over sin and death. Jesus proved he was the promised Savior, the center of God's rescue plan. He restored the broken relationship between God and people. Before returning to heaven, Jesus promised his Spirit would always be with us. The Bible is the story of God's unending love and his plan to bring us home. No matter how lost we feel, God's rescue is for everyone. The story ends with hope. God's love never fails.